Boardway Boarding Barn. Boardway Boarding has just bought a new farm under a 30-year mortgage in New Jersey. The farm is located 30 minutes south of Philadelphia, so it is a prime location to the area. It has a brand new indoor riding ring with its own watering system, and it's less than a year old. There's a large home and pool on site. The farm will be opening for boarders, and the clientele is focused on upper-level show horses and people who want to competitively show or ride at a higher level. Many groom services offered, as well as detailed accommodations that can be made for you and your horse to help achieve success. The objectives of the farm is to attain high-quality care on a daily basis for you and your horse. We offer special groom packages and services, specialized turnout, maintenance, care, and rehab offered on site, and you'll have access to a qualified professional trainer. So the barn has full care board for horses in the main barn, which is in the picture, $650 a month. And then full care board for ponies is $575 a month. There's also a shed row that's located in between two different pastures, and there are 4 stalls in there for $550 a month. So some of the groom services that we are offering include some of the ones that are listed, so full body clipping, trace clip or partial clips, mane pulling, hunter braids, and then some of the things that we're going to do on site as well is like if you don't want to give your horse a wormer or a different oral and medication, we'll do it for you for $5. If your horse is being hand walked for over 20 minutes a day, time is money, so it's going to be $8 a day. If it's less than 20 minutes, then we'll just do it for you. Blanketing is going to be $30 a month, but that's probably only going to be in the months that your horse will need a blanket. So you're not going to be charged $30 during the summer. Or if your horse doesn't wear a blanket at all, then you won't need a blanket. And being located in New Jersey and being a show barn, your horses are probably more than likely going to be clipped. So you're going to need a blanket. It's not necessarily New York, but it is still cold, so maybe 6 months out of the year your horse will need a blanket. Bell boots or splint boots for, your intensive horse that's going out and you want to protect their legs. We're not going to offer to take care of your horse after your ride, but if you want to prepare your horse before a ride, whether it's lunging and grooming and tacking, or if your horse only needs to be groomed and tacked and waiting in the cross ties for you because you're busy out of work, because maybe you work in Philadelphia, we'll do that for you. And then standing wraps. If you're doing standing wraps after a hard show and we have to redo them for you and take them off, it's going to be $5 for 2 legs or $10 for 4 legs. Just because it takes time and that's a skill, because if you put standing wraps on wrong, that can go very poorly. If your horse for some reason needs lunch feed, it's just going to be $100 a month. Maybe your horse comes in and we suggest that it goes on lunch feed for a month because it's really underweight. Lunch feed is not something that should have to happen because of the amount of hay and grain and grass they're on, and there are rotating pastures, so that is available. So for horse shows, the groom services are going to be a little bit different. General groom services for you is going to be feeding AM and PM, grain, hay, water throughout the day. The night check is included for you, a morning lunge and hack, and then 10 minutes of hand walking per horse a day. This is just as basic as it comes. This isn't helping you to the ring. This isn't helping you at the ring. This isn't really grooming your horse for you. But if you want to do all that yourself and you don't want to pay for it, then that's fine and that's available. Personal groom services may include ringside assistance, tacking, untacking, bathing, braiding, and clipping. You have to do one or the other depending on what's available. If it's a week-long show and we're only bringing a couple of grooms, then not everyone's going to be able to have a personal groom. But maybe only a couple people are showing on one day and they're showing at different times, then yeah, you can have a personal groom. So the prices vary and change, and if you're an adult amateur, you should be able to do most of it yourself. It's more or less like helping the children that might be there, or the green horses, but it's going to come as what the trainer and the groom feels necessary, and then it's going to be discussed and dealt with beforehand so that there's no surprises when you come around to the show. So as far as horses in New Jersey go, the farm is located in Elmer, so it's pretty close to Philadelphia. New Jersey has the most horses per mile in the United States. The headquarters for the United States Equestrian Team is also in New Jersey. And then the state believes that horses bring in around $3.2 billion to the state every year. And then a little fun fact about New Jersey is that they have dedicated an entire month to horses, and that is every June, and that's just to show how much they love horses. And it's really cool that the state did that just to show that appreciation. Startup plans. So my goal is to buy the farm on a 30-year mortgage. This business plan and my stellar credit score with my dad's cosign is allowing me to do that. I am putting $10,000 down, and I'm going to save $5,000 off to the side for startup costs. I've been saving for years, and I've also inherited some money. But overall, that's not a large down payment for the fact that it's about $600,000 for the farm itself. The farm is move-in ready, and almost everything has been renovated. So $600,000 is a lot of money, but for a farm that's almost been completely redone and a house that's been completely redone, 30 minutes away from Philly, I'm hopefully going to make all my money back because of the location and how much it's been renovated. I'm going to hire a head trainer under a 5-year contract and open for boarding and clients as soon as possible. And then creating business cards with my logo and to start advertising, making a Facebook page, Instagram, and a website to get my name out. Because the property is move-in ready, I want to find that trainer and bring in clients as soon as possible so I'm not losing money. So the farm is at 994 Lower Mill Road, Elmer, New Jersey. It's a 4-bedroom house with a pool on site. It's a pretty big house. There are 14 paddocks, 2 large pastures, and 12 run-ins, plus a shed row with a lean-to. So the shed row is split between 2 pastures, and there's 2 stalls on each side, but they can connect if wanted. The indoor arena has brand new lights and a brand new watering system, and it's 70 by 140. It looks beautiful, and that is the arena in the picture. Large round pen, an even larger outdoor arena, and with new footing and lights. And then there's a tack and feed room. So here's a couple pictures of the property, and these are actually of the property. So you can see the round pen, you can see the indoor, you can see stalls. So to start out, I'm going to hire myself, hiring a barn worker under a 1-year contract with the possibility to extend it and become an assistant barn manager, and then hiring a head trainer under a contract for 5 years. In year 3, I will hire another full-time employee and barn worker. I will hopefully give a raise to the original barn worker, and then I will look into working students if anyone's interested in that, or maybe in an internship. And in year 5, I would look for an assistant trainer that would stay at home and teach while the head trainer continues to show, because as the head trainer continues to show, I don't want people at home not continuing their education. For marketing, I'm going to have a business card, a brochure, a Facebook, an Instagram, and a website, plus all the merchandise, clothes, saddle pads with the name and logo on it. So the logo is going to be my name with the horse jumping in it, and that is my business card in the picture as well, just trying to incorporate that on as many things as possible. And being so small and simple, it's not going to overwhelm the trainer's logo and her things as well. So for promotions, if someone has more than one horse, the trainer's included, board will be $50 off for every horse after the first one. So if you have a horse and that costs $650 and you have 4 of them, one of them is going to cost $650 and the other 3 are only going to cost $600 every month. So the trainers are paying me a monthly or yearly stipend, and they have to pay for their own stalls. So if they have personal horses that they want to bring in, they have to pay for those stalls, and I want to make it cheaper for them and to also encourage boarders. Maybe they have a horse and want to lease another, just making it a little bit cheaper. I know a couple farms that do this, and what they do is they allow 1 day per month. Normally it's 1 Saturday per month, where the boarders are allowed to come help out, whether it's spring cleaning, jump setting, jump painting, and then they take $50 off board because they helped out for a day. And normally it's fun and it gets the barn together and the boarders around. So for the time frame, so I want to open the barn with myself and 1 employee and a head trainer and have 75% capacity and spread the name and grow my business. The trainer is also under a contract that each year they need to fill the barn to a higher capacity. So in 2022, the trainer begins to a few shows a year, the groom services expands, and the barn's at 85% capacity. I'm offering my groom services to everyone in barn, everyone local, and any local shows that are going on. You know, if it's a Saturday morning and I don't have to work, I can go braid 4 horses for a barn at a local show, then that's going to bring in that revenue for me as well. Or maybe it's my employee and, you know, I can send her to go do that and I can work at home that day or vice versa. In the 3rd year, the trainer's going to 6 to 9 shows a year. The barn's at 95% or more capacity. Our name is out there and the groom services take off at home, locally, and at shows. In the 4th year, the trainer is going to 10 to 13 shows a year, rated shows, hire another full-time employee, and take on a working student. So the groom services should be maxed out by the 4th year. We're doing as much as we can without working too many hours, probably no more than 40 hours a week. And that's kind of made its name for us. People are able to call us and say, hey, my barn's heading to a local show. Can you braid a few horses? And we can do it without running ourselves too thin. And then in year 5, the barn's full. We're going to hire an assistant trainer to work underneath the head trainer. And this is going to be an experienced position, as well as she's paying me, as well as the head trainer, she's paying me less. But she's expected to do all of the clients when the head trainer is away. But when the head trainer's home, she's going to work more closely with the younger group and the more inexperienced group, but she's still expected to bring in clients of her own and have clients of her own. So each barn worker will be under a 6-month or a 1-year contract after a trial period, because I want to see if they're a good fit before I have them sign that contract. The head trainer can make their own schedule under a 5-year contract. They're responsible for bringing in clients, filling stalls, as well as meeting a horse show quota. The assistant trainer will stay at home to teach while the head trainer's away. And then for a working student, they'll work and return for experience, and they will be able to travel to shows if they want, or they can stay home, or maybe they want to pick certain shows and stay home certain shows. They may work off of board or lessons, or if an internship wants to come in, they would be about the same way. The house does have 4 rooms, so I would possibly be able to rent out a room if it's the right person. And my business is its own business away from the training and their business. So I expected the trainers to have their own insurance and coverage and try to build their own name for themselves, and it's just under my facility. So here's some of the numbers and the food that I'm going to be using. So I have Senior, a Fiber Force, and the Performix. The Performix is really expensive and is only going to go to horses that are being worked 5+ days a week. And then maybe they're getting worked 5 easy days a week. Maybe they need the Senior. And for the fat ponies, they're probably just going to get the Fiber Force, which is basically a nice pellet. And then the hay, we're going to put round bales in paddocks during winter months, or basically before the grass gets too low. So I really prefer not to allow the grass to get under 4 inches. Thankfully, there's plenty of paddock and pastures, and being a show barn, the horses do not need to go out all day, and a lot of show horses do not like to go out all day. So they'll go out as tolerated, and some of them will probably have to have private turnout and will be on rotations, but they're still going to be worked and whatnot. And 2 of them are dry lots, and then the round pen as needed as well. And then the shavings, you can have shavings delivered by a tractor trailer load. It's $5,000 for a truckload, but it can last 21 horses about 4 months. So the first couple years when I don't have 21 horses, it's going to be much cheaper. But these are pine shavings. This isn't sawdust, and that's something I really want to strive for because I don't like how thin and dusty sawdust is, and this is treated shavings. And then here are some of my numbers. So this is my 5-year plan on this. So in year 1, I've also added that I will have a truck, tractor, and trailer. I'm going to lease the truck though. My groom services, and then I have additional services for all those extra and added fees on top of board if needed. And then my property lease agreement is actually how much the trainers are going to be giving me a year for using my facility. So you can see that that goes up in year 5. And then my mortgage is going to be about $42,000 a year, spending about $3,200 a year in insurance on the farm. So my first year I'll be negative $19,000. But then you can see that that increases greatly because of those initial startup costs. And then year 3 and is actually higher than year 4. That's because in year 4 I'm hiring more employees. So I just have a little bit of a setback, and then in year 5, it's really thriving. I spend a lot of money each year in shavings and grain. And then this is the balance sheet. I have my initial $5,000 that I've saved, and then I am taking what the barn made as profit for my retained earnings and total owner's equity in the bottom. I am very negative my first year, but I do pretty well throughout the rest. I have the truck under a liability because I am leasing it. And that is all.